In all probability, if you're watching this particular video, you have at least considered the idea of going full-time as a trader. Some of you watching this may already be full-time as traders. Some of you may be a year out from going full-time. Some of you may be a few weeks away from going full-time. What I want to say is no matter where you are on that journey, you're going to get some value from today's presentation because we're talking all about how traders can successfully go full-time and sustain that. Believe it or not, there are a lot of myths and traps about becoming a full-time trader that we're going to discuss, we're going to address, and we're going to put solutions in place. The last thing you want to do as a trader is go full-time incorrectly and then have to go back to full-time work. If you're a trader out there that has the slightest idea that you want to be a full-time trader, you're going to get some valuable insights from today's presentation. I'm going to give you some practical tools and insights that you can implement right now to significantly increase the probability of you becoming a full-time trader and then also you sustaining that into the future. Really excited about this one. I've got my own mistakes. I've got my own story to tell about this, and I made plenty of mistakes going full-time as a trader that I want to dispel here. I want to put forward so you guys can learn from my errors. And I've helped many traders in the 12-week program go full-time, and they've come back and they've thanked me 6 months, 12 months down the line because they didn't realize how important these key characteristics are, or these key insights are, and how important they are to implement. Okay, and like always, if you resonate with these lectures, we've got a free 7-day trial to the 12-week trading mindset transformation program. That program teaches you everything you need to know to remove the negative emotions from your trading and to scale up with funding and do amazing things like become a full-time trader. You've got the tools, you've got the education, you've got the accountability in that 12-week program. You've got a community around it. It's like nothing else you'll find out there. It's the most comprehensive trading mindset education right now. So if you resonate with these lectures, make sure you check it out. Make sure you check out the free 7-day trial. If you like these lectures, in all probability, you're gonna love the 12-week program. Okay, now without further ado, let's get into this masterclass, which is all about going full-time as a trader and ensuring your transition is smooth and successful. Now, the big problem we're addressing here is that a lot of traders rush the process. I could definitely put my hand up and say that I was one of those individuals who rushed the process a little bit. And I'm lucky I had additional cash savings there, which is one of the key things to make sure you implement, because that really saved me. That really made sure that I could get back on my feet. But I didn't establish transitioning full-time as a trader properly or wisely. I rushed the process a little bit, and as a result, it burnt me a little bit later on. So let's get into this. Now, traders hate their jobs and they want to escape. I could definitely attest to that. I didn't really want to be in the job I was working. And here's the thing, if you are resentful to your current job and you want to escape that to become full-time trading or become a full-time trader, in my opinion, from what I've seen in my own journey and from working with hundreds of traders now one-on-one, it's not the right path to take. Because what's going to happen is you're going to rush the process and you're going to think that you're getting away from the pain of your 9-to-5 job, but this is what's going to happen. These challenges in your 9-to-5 job, all that's going to happen is those are going to resurface again as a full-time trader. Instead of having challenges in your 9-to-5 job that you're resentful to, now all of a sudden you've got resurfaced challenges in new forms as a full-time trader that now you're resentful to. And you go from being a slave to your 9-to-5 job to being a slave to the market. And now all of a sudden you don't have that consistent income from the job. You don't have that lifeline, so there's additional stress as a full-time trader. So you need to make sure you're doing this process properly and you're not rushing it, and you're systematic and you're process-based. And you've learned from people who've made the errors before and have put things in place to help others. So it's really important that you don't try and escape your 9-to-5 job. Because like I just mentioned here, whatever you try and run away from, you're gonna run into, and those problems are gonna resurface. It's important that, like we talk about in a couple solutions in the next few slides of the presentation, you do linking and you really see your job as a catapult to your full-time trading to ensure that the transition is smooth and sustainable, okay? And these traders who end up rushing the process, they need to get back to work because they don't have the income. They realize that they had a fantasy about full-time trading first and foremost. They thought that it could bring them things that it didn't. It was a complete fantasy. They rushed the process. They try to escape the challenges from their 9-to-5 job, thinking that full-time trading would be all positive now. And when they're smacked by the reality of full-time trading, they realize the market's gone a little bit dry. They haven't had any positions recently. They haven't generated any income from the market. Now all of a sudden they need money, end up having to go back to work. So don't be this individual who falls into this trap. Make sure you implement the couple solutions I'm going to give to you now to ensure that the transition is smooth. Now, mistake number one is this whole idea of escaping. I want to escape my 9-to-5 job. I see that language very common among traders. I hate my 9-to-5 job, I want to escape it. Now, I completely understand that working a 9 to 5 job and being in a environment that can be perceived as very constraining isn't all that inspiring, especially if you're in a career path that you don't really resonate with and you don't really love. I understand a lot of the positioning these individuals take, these traders take, but there's a wise way to transition out of that. And there's a wise way to see your job right now and to shift your perception to your job, to seeing it as helping your trading. And ultimately that's only going to be more beneficial for you transitioning to become a full-time trader. So I am all for becoming a full-time trader. I'm all for getting that freedom and all for transitioning out of your 9 to 5 job, but you have to do it in the right way. I hate my job is not a great reason to become a full-time trader. Whatever you try and run away from, you'll run into. You want to be asking yourself this question. You want to be asking yourself, how is working my 9 to 5 job, the job I'm working right now that I'm finding a little bit uninspiring, I don't really enjoy it, how is working this job for the next 6 months, for example, or next 12 months, or next 3 months, whatever it is, how is that actually helping my mission of becoming a successful trader? And you really want to get a pen and paper out and sit down and write down 20, 30, 40 benefits of how working this 9 to 5 job momentarily is actually helping you become a successful trader. And if you can shift your perception towards your 9 to 5 job and you can start to, be grateful for your 9 to 5 job and see it as on the way as opposed to in the way, you have to work it anyway, so you may as well be grateful for it and use it to your advantage. And you might want to write down things like, my 9 to 5 job is providing me with a secure, stable income source. So I have income and I can dedicate the rest of my time to learning and studying and building my systems. You might also want to write down one of the benefits of working a 9 to 5 job is that you have less time. Therefore, you have to be more efficient and stick to only high priority actions when you're trading. You have to be very efficient with your study time, because I find a lot of traders who have all this time, they don't tend to utilize it wisely. Another benefit of the 9 to 5 job is it gives them accountability to be structured and routine based. Because again, if you have all this time, then what I find a lot of traders do is they don't use that time wisely, and then they don't end up having those boundaries or restraints around them, so they don't necessarily stick to their trading processes. They get very complacent with that later in the journey. Another benefit of working a 9 to 5 job is that sometimes it's beneficial to go away from the charts and do something else. Let time for positions to play out, or give time for positions to set up. Sometimes when you're not working 9 to 5, trading full time, being at the charts can oftentimes be the worst thing for you because you force trades, you rush positions. So you want to go down and sit down and write down 20, 30 benefits of working a 9 to 5 job, how it's actually helping you over the next 6 months transition to being a full-time trader. And best thing you can do is have that income stream from a 9 to 5 job to build cash savings, build a 6-month cash cushion, and use that income to cover expenses as you learn to develop your systems, as you learn to develop your psychology as a trader, and as you start to develop consistent profitability. And then you can use your 9 to 5 job to have that income to pay for funding challenges, for example, pay for instant funding, so you can scale your trading up a little bit and then trade that for maybe 3 to 6 months before you then transition to being a full-time trader. So I always encourage people to see their 9 to 5 job as something that's on the way, that's helping them on their journey. But you also want to give yourself the option to realize that, some traders are black and white. They're either thinking that I have to work my 9 to 5 job or I don't, I leave it completely. It's very black and white. It's either work it or leave it. Where you have those scales of gray as well, and you want to give yourself permission to open up the idea in your mind that, I can just work my 9 to 5 job for the next 6 months, and I can use that as a way to have that income and generate cash savings before I transition. Or instead of going straight from 9 to 5 to full-time trading, you can transition from 9 to 5, and then maybe you can negotiate part-time hours with your work or work a part-time job. So you still have additional things to do and you still have additional income, but you dedicate more time to your trading. So you want to open your mind to recognize that there are other options, and there's a scale of gray in between the black and white. Always ask yourself, how is working this job? The very uninspiring action steps, the tasks you have to do at work, always link it to your trading. And the moment you can link it to your overall mission, you can see that it's actually helping you, not hindering you. Now all of a sudden you're not angry when you go to work. And now all of a sudden you're not resentful to your job, but you're grateful for your job because it's helping you become the individual you'd love to become. But you have to really sit down and write down those benefits, 20, 30, 40 of them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Any questions? Leave them in the description below. But again, I go into this in detail in the 12-week program. I see a lot of my students really have those aha moments, and they realize that, I'm incredibly grateful for my 9 to 5 job. I wouldn't want to work it for the rest of my life, but the next 6 months, I see that as a great chapter. I'll close that out, and then I can transition into becoming a full-time trader. I think that's a much better way to transition to being a full-time trader than I absolutely hate my job, I want to leave it now. There's a different language, there's a different thought process there. Okay, hope that makes sense. You want to link your 9 to 5 job and use it wisely so you can turbo boost your journey of being a successful trader. And when you shift your perception to realizing that your 9-to-5 job is actually on the way, it's a turbo booster, it's helping you become a full-time trader, then there's no longer all this weight. Every job you've worked, every relationship you've had, everything you've been through is actually helping you. And it's just about shifting your perception to realizing that as opposed to being resentful to it. Now, the second mistake is having no cash savings. I see so many traders have this mentality, this cowboy mentality of, I believe in my ability to make money as a trader, which I think is great to a degree, but I don't need cash savings because I'm a great trader. There are so many unknowns that we can't foresee necessarily. So having cash savings there is such a wise thing, just in case you can't generate income from your trading as a full-time trader. At least you've got cash in the bank to cover expenses. The other thing that having cash savings does is a psychological buffer. It takes this pressure off you to have to make money now and have to trade right now, which oftentimes pushes you into outcome-based thinking. And all of a sudden you can take a step back, you can be in process-based thinking, and you can just execute if the market presents an opportunity. And you don't need to execute otherwise. And what you'll find is that you'll have better results with cash in the bank as a trader because you don't have all this pressure on yourself to have to trade. This is really a non-negotiable. You want to have whatever your monthly expenses are, multiply that by 6, at least 6, and then that's the amount of cash you want to keep in the bank. So say, for example, you have $10,000, a monthly expense of $10,000, multiply that by 6, that's $60,000 cash in the bank, that's 6 months covered cash in the bank. This offers you psychological stability, like I mentioned. This also allows you to stay in process-based decision-making. You're not pushed into this outcome-based decision-making of having to make money now. Now, the third mistake that full-time traders fall into is they have poor structure and poor routines. Like I mentioned, one of the benefits of being a 9-to-5 worker or working a part-time or full-time job is that there is an enforced structure around you where you may have some time in the morning, you may have some time at lunch, at your work, you may have time after work, where you're forced to be diligent and accountable and productive in those time slots and usually get great work done because of the less time. Let's imagine you had nothing throughout your day, as some full-time traders do. They have absolutely nothing on their agenda for the day. Maybe a little bit of a scan in the morning, but besides that, nothing else. If you don't structure your day and you don't fill your day with the highest priority actions that really inspire you and that help you be productive and help you, grow in all areas of life, then it's gonna fill up with absolute crap and you're gonna do stupid shit that depreciates you. And it's not easy it's not difficult to see. Take a week off your work, don't structure anything, and I guarantee chances are you're gonna go to YouTube. You're gonna go and eat a lot of unhealthy food. All these immediate gratifying behaviors we tend to fall into because we're not activating the advanced parts of our brain. We're not keeping ourselves engaged. We're bored, in other words. So it's really important to have great structure and routines. And with all these free time, traders often squander the time they have and don't use it wisely. So it's important to set up a schedule and fill your day with the highest priority actions. And we talk about this in detail in the 12-week program. I've got my AIM framework, which stands for awareness, intention, momentum, and I show you how to set goals that you'll actually achieve and then fill your day with the highest priority actions to ensure that every day you're getting closer to that. But you want to make sure you've structured your life in a way that's inspiring for you and you absolutely love to do. You've got an opportunity potentially as a full-time trader now where not many people get that opportunity. And if you're squandering it doing useless stuff, you're going to self-depreciate and your trading results aren't going to be good. It's important to fill your day with the most inspiring work. And that way also, if there's no setups for the day as a trader, you don't need to force things. You can go and do other things you love to do. One thing I've recently started to talk about with my students is this whole idea of creating your perfect day. Literally with a pen and pad, write down what your perfect day would look like. You maybe get up at a certain time, you go to bed at a certain time, and then within that day, every 30 minutes, what's the activity? What's your perfect day that you'd fill up? What are you most inspired by? What makes you most productive? What makes you the most money as a trader? What makes you have the best body, the best relationships, the best mind state? You want to go through all areas of life and fill that day with the most inspiring tasks. And this is ideally the day you have when you're a full-time trader. Because if you're not filling your day with high priority stuff, chances are it's going to fill up with low priority distractions. And of course, it's okay to schedule time to unwind and unload, have a movie on Netflix. It's smart to schedule that within your day, but you want to fill your day otherwise with great inspiring tasks. Otherwise, you're going to fall into those immediate gratifying tasks when you don't want them. So my point here is you want to create your perfect day. Actually write down what your perfect day would look like and go and live it before you become a full-time trader. So what I suggest is take a couple days off work, use leave to take a couple days off and actually go and experience what it would feel like to be a full-time trader living your perfect day. Now you may come to the realization that that's just too much free time. I don't actually want that. And you may decide to do a part-time work instead of full-time work, or you may just choose to stay full-time work, or you may absolutely love the freedom. You may absolutely love all the extra time you have to focus on your trading, your additional projects, maybe another business you wanted to start, go to the gym in the middle of the day, to do whatever it is you wanted to do. And that may just inspire you to work even harder to then become a full-time trader. You can't really lose on creating your perfect day and trialing it before you can become a full-time trader. Okay, that's what I recommend. Now, additional insights. When you become a full-time trader, the question then becomes, what's next? Right? You always want to be thinking about what's next, otherwise you can lose the motivation and discipline. So my suggestion, and what I personally did when I became a full-time trader, was I dedicated my time to turbo boosting the additional project, the business I had at the time, which was Master Your Trading Mindset, where I help traders overcome the negative emotions in their trading and achieve funding goals. And I absolutely loved that. And I knew I wanted to do that. I didn't want to work another part-time or full-time job. So when I had the opportunity to go full-time with my trading, I dedicated my time to building that and growing that. And now I pretty much fill my day with very little things, but my day is now filled with things I absolutely love. I love to learn, I love to go to the gym, I love to work on my business, and I love to trade. And that's all I really do day to day. That's an incredibly inspiring day for me. That's my perfect day. And I'm grateful every morning that I have the opportunity to do that. So I would love you guys to be in that position, but I also recognize that you need to have potentially an additional project. So my suggestion is when you become a full-time trader, you dedicate yourself to building an additional project or an additional business. Now, ideally, this project or business is also income generating for you. It's a positive sum income generating business. This way it can take off some pressure from your trading to have to make money. You also want to make sure that you've linked this additional project or this business to your trading so you can see that it's actually helping you become a better trader, not hindering that ability. Because the last thing you want is to be a full-time trader and then start a business that takes away from your trading. So you want to make sure those two are linked in your mind and you can see them helping each other. Okay, but these would be my tips on transitioning to become a full-time trader and sustaining that. What I've seen with the most successful traders out there, the way they sustain being a full-time trader is by having other things on in their life and having a schedule of things that inspire them, whether that's additional projects, whether that's additional businesses, whether that's just additional things they love to do in other areas of life. But you want to live a holistic life, a balanced life. So many benefits to that actually ultimately help your trading. You oftentimes have better results when you're more balanced and more structured, and you just give yourself enough time to forecast and execute as a trader. You don't give yourself too much time to over trade and be stuck at the chart. So these are my suggestions. Again, if you resonate with this, check out the free trial to the 12-week program. That's an absolute game changer that will help in your transition from a full-time worker to a full-time trader. And if you resonate with this particular lecture, please like, comment, subscribe. Share these videos with friends you know will be benefiting from them. Helping me grow helps get these ideas out there, because I don't think enough people are putting the emphasis they need on trading psychology and trading mindset. The more we can get these videos out there, the more beneficial it is to the trading community. I want to thank you again for watching this video all the way through to the end, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.